Good morning, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon. Can everyone hear me? Excellent, excellent. We got 300 people in the room right now and counting. Fantastic, fantastic. Sound, everything is okay. Good to see everybody. Okay, Naveen, where are you right now? I'm in Hong Kong right now. Any of you guys in Hong Kong? I didn't get any messages on Facebook that some of you guys were in Hong Kong. We got one of our students here. Lee is in town and he's actually here watching the webinar live.
Hi guys.
Hi. And then Lucille is here as well. So, so please do let me know whenever you guys see me from my Facebook messages that if you see me in your city, please do come and watch me do the webinars live together with you. We do some training. Just earlier before this, we were, just trading on the screen over there. We took a trade together, which we'll be discussing as well. King, you're saying you are from Hong Kong too? You should have been in touch, buddy. I have a flight tomorrow. Flight tomorrow in the morning. Have a drink in the Ozone, in the Ritz-Carlton top floor, huh? Okay. Yeah, so anytime you guys see me in your city, please do reach out. I like meeting you guys just as much as you guys like meeting me. So please do reach out. Please do reach out. Okay, so for those of you guys who do not know me, my name is Naveen Prithyani from urbanforex.com. I am your mentor at urbanforex.com and senior trader at forexwatchers.com and director of Black Tower Investments. So before we get started here, how many of you guys here are new? You've never been here before. This is an exclusive webinar only for students. Okay, so how many people are new here? Okay, we got a couple people new here. And for those of you who've been here before, can you put down Y for yes that you've been here before, so I know how many of you guys have been here before? Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, good. Okay, so as I promised you guys earlier that this exclusive MPA webinar, this might be the last one. Okay, this might be the last one because going forward, I'm gonna take it up a notch and do the next private webinars in the 4CB. Okay, in the 4-course bundle. So all the future webinars are gonna be a little bit more serious. Okay, it's gonna go more in depth and aggressive. Okay, yes, the webinar is recorded. And we have, I think, multiple recordings on just in case. Okay. Okay, yeah, so yeah, 4CB webinars are gonna be there. How many of you guys are already in the 4? In fact, let me just check this out really quick as before we begin. Just need to know from you guys. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Just need to check from you guys about what do you guys have. Here you go. Okay, if you guys can answer this for me. Oh. Okay, want to know which of these courses do you own? Okay, we got a lot of MPA students in here. Okay, you can choose multiple options in case you have more than one. Okay, we got a lot of you guys from the 4-course bundle. That's good, that's good. So going forward, all of you guys who are in the 4-course bundle are gonna be having some regular webinars on the 4-course bundle. Now, today is gonna be a preview of what we're gonna be doing in the 4-course bundle webinars, because right now in the MPA, you're learning about what to do when you look at the markets, right? Now in the 4-course bundle, it's okay, once you have that information, how do you actually execute it? How do you stay on top of it? How do you bend and twist around that information? And how do you make the most profit out of it? Okay, Chris, very good, rubs hand together. They should, what is that? Burns, Mr. Burns saying, excellent. Okay, so let's get this started. Let's get this started today. We're not going to be talking anything about buyers and sellers and this and that. We're going to talk about everything, and we're going to talk about some trades. I took some trades on purpose this week so I can share them with you. Again, these trades are from what I'm thinking to when I take the trade to when I close the trade, and then statements. So they're all there, everything for you to see, and we can ask questions and go over it. Yeah? Okay, so for those of you who are new, you guys are gonna love this. And don't get me wrong, anyone who is confused and does not understand what I am teaching today, it is still going to be available in the recording. You can watch it later. Anyone who is registered for this webinar is going to get the recording. Anyone who is not registered is not going to get the recording. Okay? All right. So, shall we get started? Okay, before we get started, let me know, where is everybody from? You guys are all students now. I want to know where my students are from. Okay, Toronto, Jamaica, New York, Philippines, Boston, Shanghai, Indiana, India, Germany, Nigeria, Dubai, Serbia, Dubai again, LA, Austria, Turkey, Afghanistan, Uruguay. Okay, welcome. Okay, so we're obviously all around the planet. So the reason why I asked this is I want to take a moment to thank all of you guys, because for a lot of you guys, this time zone right now is actually not a good time zone to actually wake up early in the morning to be here. Some of you guys, it's out of your way to be here. So I want to take a moment to thank you guys to take time out of your schedule to be here. So having that said, we have 52 minutes left to the webinar. And in this 52 minutes, there's going to be no more talking. We're going to dive straight into it. Yeah, deal? Okay, this is, like I said, it's an MPA webinar, and we are gonna go dive straight into it. We're not gonna leave any time for any nonsense. Here we go. Okay, let me get my charts ready for you guys. Okay. Okay, so can you hear my screen and see my voice? Okay, all good, right? All good. Okay, so let's discuss some of the things we've been discussing in the elite community. So for those of you who do not know what the elite community is, this is basically your final landing point after you do your mastering price action course, your 4-course bundle. You practice some of your motivation and daily routines. You find out what type of trader you are, and your final stage is coming into this elite community and trading with some of the senior traders. Okay, so any of you guys who are in the 4-course bundle or who do not know about the 4-course bundle, this gives you also 1 month access to it. If you pick up the 4-course bundle, it gives you 1 month free access to this. So let's talk about something in here. So let's begin with pound yen. Here's the first trade I took. Okay, let's go into this. So let's discuss it. Let me open up pound yen first. We'll come back to this euro USD later on. Okay, pound yen, euro USD is something I was doing with Lee as he got here today. We were discussing about that together. It was nice to have the trade, to do a trade together on that. So I saw pound yen from one of our other traders. Barry is. How many of you guys have actually got a comment reply from Barry in the course? Barry is also now working together with Urban Forex, so you'll see Barry helping out also in the comments area in the courses. So please be familiar with that name. He's a very nice guy. He's very helpful. So he's a wonderful person. We're happy to have him on board with us. Okay. All right. So Barry posted something about pound yen going for a sell. He was stalking this on the 4-hour 60 for a sell, and that caught my attention too. So let's take a look at the 4-hour and then the 60. And we'll talk about, well, what are we doing with the sell and why? Okay, what are we doing with the sell and why? So let's take a look at this. So his analysis was the 4-hour chart is reaching up to an area where he has his dotted green line. Now, it made me think, well, what is this dotted green line that he has here? So I wanted to check it out on my charts, and I went into the daily first, and I see that the dotted green line was somewhere around here, okay, as his resistance. Okay, had that area somewhere around there and I'm going to go into the 4 hours. Okay, where are we? Oh, sorry, it's higher, it's here. There we go. That's where he had his line. Almost like a supply area, right? Okay, according to the daily, what kind of territory are we looking at? What territory would this be? Okay, so those of you who are going through lesson 1, we're looking at a seller's territory on this chart. Okay, the markets breached this area where the red line was broken. It breached it, went down to this lowest point, and this is the guy who started it. Okay, so we're looking at seller's territory, and according to seller's territory, did the sell ever happen? Okay, but yet we made money on the sell. So now you might be asking, well, how is that possible? You know, what do we do? What's the idea? How do we get through all this stuff? Because when we think of a sell, we're imagining, well, we need to see something like this, where, you know, the news comes on and then they say, well, the pound economy just crashed and everyone's dead. Apparently that didn't happen, but we still made money off of it. So let's get into that, into why. Let's get into that, into why. Why did he see this as a sell, and what does this mean for us, and how do we know of when the sell happens and when do we activate our trade? So first things first, seller's territory, we got that out of the way. Then we go down to the 4 hours and we're looking for signs of a pullback that we can sell from. Okay, so as the prices, as the prices were getting closer and closer up to that area where he had his dotted line, okay, which is this resistance, which was seller's territory, we wanted to see the buyers start to quit. Okay, so here's a move up. Imagine the rubber band man moving up, okay, gauging momentum. Slows down, tries again. Slows down again, but this time, how much is his rest? Yeah, a lot higher, okay, which we also refer to as a V formation, right? So now the question is, well, could this be an area to hit the sell from? Because obviously our buyers are dying out, and they're dying out in an area that we like to see is a seller's territory. So it's like, oh, that's a good sign. Because everyone turned into a buyer here, which is good. Let them turn into a buyer. But we, with the big boy, are interested in doing nothing but sells. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, which is what we call the money spot. As the smaller traders get ready to buy, we are getting ready for our sells. So now, let's take a look at how the sells activate. How sells activate. I took a trade on this later down the line. So this is Barry's trade right here. They took a trade a little bit earlier on this for the sell, which was the initial push down. Okay, just off of that resistance. But let me show you later on how I took that position. All right, here we go. Let me mark down the prices. If you guys, oh, this is, yeah, mark down the prices. 149.96. If you can just remember that price, 149.96. Okay, let me clean all this up. I'll take a screenshot for you guys. Okay. Let me screenshot that. Okay. All right. Can everyone see my circle? Holy circle of urban forex. Yeah? Okay, fantastic. All right. So that was the resistance area. Okay? In that resistance area, what was the price again? 196. What was that price? 149.96. Thank you. So 149.96 is going to be somewhere right there. Okay? So around once this V formation happened, I was looking for a test back to take a sell into here, and I wanted to do the sell as close to the sellers as possible. I don't want to do a sell down here where there's buyers. I wanted to do a sell where the sellers are. Okay, so now what are we looking for? How do we do the sell? What are we looking for? How do we know when to hit the sell? Okay, we need a fade. We need to fade the buyers. Very good. Okay, let's take a look. Let's go down. Let's mark this territory here. Okay, let's go down to the 1 hour. Okay, we're on the third time frame now. This is just for precision. You don't really need precision. This is something we cover more in the 4-course bundle. But at the MPA level, you only need 2 time frames. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Here we are. Now, at this price, the market starts to bounce back up. Goes up slowly, comes back. Goes up slowly, little bit comes back. Goes up slowly, comes back. Goes up slowly, crashes. Would we say the buyers are dead? Okay, notice how look at how the sellers came down and look at how the buyers are going up. All of this is happening at that resistance area, that big resistance that we saw. Okay? The higher it inches up, the more people turn into a buyer, which is good for us. We want them to turn into a buyer. And as we see these signs, we're like, okay, we want to hit the sell. So for us, that's like that 149.96 area, which is this price right there. That is the entry. That's the entry to get in, and prices instantly drop from that area. Now, as a trader, when we look at the MPA, when we look at the MPA, okay, what does our training tell us to do? Once we're in a trade, what's our training tell us to do? Where is our take profit? Okay, I can see a lot of you guys really like the dash of evil from the 4-course bundle. Okay, those of you who haven't reached it yet, you guys will reach it. You guys will like that. I had fun also making that part of the course. It was a lot of fun. Hope you guys liked it. I spun around the vocabulary a bit to make sure you guys get the concept. Okay, so nearest low, next support, challenge spot, previous low. Okay, let me show you something here. Okay, and then one of your questions is, Naveen, weren't you in danger of stopping out? So good question. We'll cover both things. So first things first. First things first. According to our normal way of trading, once we are at an area of resistance and we see some kind of a V formation, our job is after the pullback, and once we get in, we want the trade to go all the way down to our recent low, somewhere here or somewhere here. Does everyone agree? Isn't that the training? Yeah, that's our normal way, because we want to resume this overall downtrend picture. But why did we not go all the way down? Okay. Something was developing. Now, how do you work with this? How do you work with this? Okay, this is a lesson out of the 4-course bundle. We want to discuss it openly today. How do you deal with something like this? When you have a trade that you're willing to trade, what's the plan of action? What do you do? Pray? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna answer this thing for you guys. So if you come into this mindset of, okay, this trade is for a sell and you're gonna do the sell, how are you gonna think about this trade? Are you gonna ever think about a buy, or are you only gonna think in terms of a sell? Okay, so I want you to keep track of these 3 things I'm about to tell you. 1. Okay, here's the second one. Here's the third one. Okay, can everyone read that? Okay, so let me explain all this. Before you hit the trigger on your trade, I want you to think of three things. Okay, yeah, it's part of the trade management from the 4-course bundle. I want you to think three things. One, if I hit the trade and I enter, and the trade goes directly to my profit, what will I do? Okay, how will I manage that trade? Okay, that's easy money. You get the money, you go out. Step number two, what if the trade starts going in my profit, but as it's going in my profit, it turns around? Now, this is while I'm making money, things suddenly change. Think about that. What would you do? And not more importantly, where could that happen? You have to think about that. Okay, and what would your plan of action be then? And trade number three, situation number three is, what if my trade goes completely the other way? What's my plan of action then? What does that even mean for me if it goes the other way? Can it go the other way? Should it go the other way? And if it goes the other way, what do I do? If you think of these three scenarios before you activate the trade, your mind is prepped to think in a very versatile way. You become very fluid in thinking the market can do anything and I'm prepared for that anything. But if you get stuck into the sell mentality, you're gonna get stuck into it and you're never gonna make any profit, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna expect this sell to work. You're gonna have your stop losses just above here, and as the trade is going into profit and then it suddenly turns around, that's a full loss, right? Is that correct? That's a full loss. Okay, now which means you were committed to only the sell. You weren't committed to other information that the market is willing to tell you. Okay, always think of trading as, I am willing to go with the odds that the trade is going to work in my favor. Okay, so let's talk about what that means of the odds. So as I was looking at this, I was also interested in, well, what if it doesn't go in my favor? Okay, so what areas can it cause me problem? It can cause me problems right at support here. It can cause me problems at SNR here as well. Okay, two places that if I hit my sell where it can cause me problems. If I think of that ahead of time, I will know not to activate my sell anywhere near these prices, correct? Which means I need to be as far away as possible when I activate my sell. Okay, yeah. So once I activate my sell from there, my stage one, if it goes to my profit, obviously I don't have nothing to worry about. That's check. But stage two, if it goes somewhat in my profit, there is a plan for that. And I'm going to teach you that plan today, which is the moment you reach a level that can cause you any problems that you fear is a strong level, take some money out of it. Take some money out of it and move your stop loss to 0. This allows your brain to think, oh, maybe I can be wrong. When you do that, the egos just drop instantly. Does that make sense? So you remove 50% of your position, take the money, and move your stops to break even, giving you a little bit of freedom to say, I will still see if it tries to go down. If it doesn't go down, I'll just close it and I'll take what I have. Make sense? All right, and stage number 3 is, well, what if it goes the other way? What's my game plan then? Well, to go the other way, the sellers have to try. And if the sellers die trying, then it obviously becomes a buy. But where does it become a buy from? Is it going to be a buy up here? Or is it going to be a buy lower down this area? With the buyers, with the SNR. But this, as easy as that sounds, option 3 never comes to a trader's mind. At least a retail trader's mind. It never comes to the mind because they're so fixated on the sell. Audio is okay? Everyone can still hear me just fine? Okay. Okay. Everyone's still following along? Like, I don't want to confuse anyone. Everyone's still following along? Okay, it's recorded as well, not to worry. Okay, so let's keep going. If there's something you want me to stop and repeat, just let me know. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, here's a question, Oscar. But how do you know it is reversing and not a mini pullback? Good question. Good question. So let me show you something else. Okay, our Darnock, the option number 3 is what if it goes the other way? What would you do? How do you know how it would reverse and go the other way? Okay, so now how do you know it's reversing and not a mini pullback? Let's talk about that. Let me go back to the daily. Okay, here was a situation that says this is a strong sell area. Okay, and we said everything points to a sell, but on this time frame we're seeing buyers pull back, a stronger higher high, and we're like, well, scenario number 3 can actually come in if this SNR holds. That's a possibility. How does that SNR hold? How do you hold at an SNR? What do you need to see? What you need to see is the 4 hours attempting to come down and cannot come down properly, which is they try, failed. They try, failed. They try, failed. You see how many times they're trying? This is such a strong support equals resistance. What is this nonsense? We take the sell first in hopes that it's going to be a sell, but we gave it a chance and the seller was like, I can't do anything. Sorry, buddy. So you're going to be like, well, I'm sorry, I got to shoot that horse because the horse is not performing. Horrible analogy. I know a lot of you guys are animal lovers, but I'm just saying it. It's like, but you get the point. You know, like, I tried it, but the runner is dying. Okay? I tried it, but the runner is dying. There's nothing more I can do. Okay? Make sense? And then you have space to get out and think about it well. Better than shooting a trader. All right, so let's now take a look at the scenario on how we approach this. So took the trade at that price 149.96. As you saw it, the prices are coming higher and higher. Hit the sell. Later on down the line, off to a good start. We'll update after dinner. This was during the trade. Trade went like instantly into profit. Okay. You can see I had my limit prices at 149.65. Let's plot that in there. What is 149.65? So my entry was at 90 something, 96 I believe it was. There we go. And then at 65 was my first take profit. Okay. Notice why I put it at 65. I got a fear of something. Well, what do you think that area is? Yeah, it's a support resistance line. It's like, well, what if that area holds? The reason why I did that is because I also studied the daily and I'm like, something doesn't look right because this major area is SNR here. So I'm going to keep this one area in mind for at 65 and be like, well, let's see what happens there and I'll figure it out accordingly. Okay, I will allow myself to see if I'm wrong. And where's my stop loss on this thing? Stop loss on this is at 20. Okay, which is 20, boom, right there. Okay, so it's above my entry price. So the middle line is my entry, upper one is my stop loss. Take profit down here. I was selling with the sellers, stop loss just above the sellers, and I'm going for the next buyer area. Okay, so far so good, makes sense? Okay, let's keep going. Trade goes down. Okay, here's my next update. Okay, I'm back at the hotel. I'm moving my stops to break even. Trade is almost at take profit. I'm watching closely. Notice how I have a line here. Even though my take profit's down here at 65, I have a line there because I'm still fearful. Look at how my line looks on a 4-hour chart right there. I'm still fearful of what if that SNR holds. Okay, trade goes instantly in my profit, but I'm still wondering if that's going to cause me a problem. What am I going to do? Okay, so move my stops to break even. Okay, here the next person says mine's hit take profit. These are the other students. Barry says I took this one as well. His hit take profit also. And then there are some updates, and then there's my update there finally saying, yeah, mine hit take profit also. Okay, so that, you know, position eventually ended up closing there. So going forward, let me go to the next page. Where is my update? Sorry, my update is in euro pound. In euro pound, which is an inverse of pound yen. Okay. An inverse on pound yen. Come on, euro pound. Where is Naveen? Naveen. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here I'm looking at this as my short play is still valid. This is now a day ago. So this is slightly after I closed all my positions on pound yen. I'm looking that pound yen has a potential of going long, but instead of going long on pound yen, I like the deal of euro pound going short. This is something you'll learn in correlation, which is why I liked this pair better. Okay, so I marked my lines. I'm like, okay, well, I like this for a potential sell from this price at 89.86. Okay, 89.86 because I wanted to sell with the sellers from here. Okay, market moves further. Sorry, let me move it up. Going forward. Okay, and we had a sudden movement. I wasn't able to get my price at 86. Okay, it just ran away. I wasn't able to get it, and we had a runner basically. It just ran. Now, so let me ask you guys a top quiz question for you guys. If it runs like that, what do you do? Do you chase it? Okay, let me ask you a secondary question. What if next time you have a similar trade, are you going to get in early thinking it's going to happen like this again? Okay, just because it happened here doesn't mean your next trade is going to do the exact same thing. And you're like, oh, remember when it happened at that time? I'm going to do the same thing. I'll enter early. Okay, that's something called recency. Don't be a Kenyan. Okay. All right, so we fool around in the elite community quite a bit. Okay, here is the pound yen. Here's the pound yen, and you can see pound yen took off after the lows couldn't come down any lower, and then the buy happened. Boom. Pound yen took off quite a bit. Okay. All right. So now let's touch base a bit on trade management. Remember those 3 things I taught you guys just now? What to do in those triple scenarios? Shall we discuss those? Okay, so before we get onto those, can you see how even though our sell idea didn't go all the way to the bottom, as a trader, we still made money? Does that make sense? See, everyone thinks a trader's job is to call the market and make money from a 500 pip move. No. A trader's job is to put money in his pocket by the end of the day and be like, I don't care what the market did. I don't care who caught 1,000 pips. I'm the one who made money. That's all that matters. Okay? So if anyone's on Forex Factory or anything like that, just talking about how many pips they made, good. Let them keep talking about it. You look at your bank account, and if there's money in there, good. You did a better job than anybody else. Does that make sense? Does it sound okay for everybody now? Okay. Okay, so far so good. Everyone with me? So we just discussed one trade we discuss some things to do, some things not to do, and a plan of action of how you want those 3 things ready, available to you at all times. It's something when I was even talking with Barry for training, it's something, you know, I had to like train him. Like, we're going to do this for every single trade. You want to keep your mind as flexible as possible to think about in those 3 scenarios. Does that make sense? So keep those scenarios in mind before you activate the trade. Otherwise, you're going to be biased. Pipsus Christ. All right. So moving on to the next trade. This one goes even deeper into management. Okay. Okay, I see some people saying I lost money with pound yen a few hours ago. Yeah, Trinimen, that's correct. Always think, what if? Never think, I know. That attitude has never been profitable for anybody. Just take a look at any old people who say, I know. All old people have been wiped out, right? Okay, so being strict and not being able to go with the wave causes problems. Any mom and pop store who doesn't adapt to the new technology coming in got wiped out. You have to learn to adjust and mimic the market. Yeah, be nimble. Don't be, you know, very strict in what you believe in your culture and tradition. Be able to be flexible. It's okay. Okay? Be able to be flexible. Things change, the world changes, and once we all die or pass away, the world will still go on just fine without us, and no one is gonna miss us, that's for sure. Okay? So stop trying to force your opinions onto the market or anyone else. It won't work. Okay? So that is my 2 cents of meditation today. Let's go on to the next trade. Ready? All right, here we go. Let's move on to Euro USD. Okay. Euro USD. I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, Naveen, you put so much money on the table. I'll explain to you what was going into my mind and what was right, what was wrong. Okay. You know how I'm able to think in this flexible ways? It's because of that MDR stuff that I shared with you guys in the course, Motivation and Daily Routines. It's to give you an understanding of you gotta be flexible. You have to be understanding that not everyone thinks the same way. Remember when I asked you guys, is this a sell or is this a buy? And we had mixed answers. Well, if the buyer waited a little bit on pound yen, he made a lot of money. But the sellers also made a lot of money. So who's right? Okay, is the person who made the most pips, is he right? Does that make sense? No, it's whoever made money. If they both made money, they were both right. So you have to understand that you cannot be so strict like that. You have to be nimble. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at this on Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD, I'm gonna go at it from the beginning of how I approach this, why I approach this like this, and why I got out so early, why my stop loss was so big, why my take profit was so low, etc., etc., etc. Right, front to end, completely. Okay, let's start with the higher time frame so I can get an idea to show you what was I looking at. Stage one. Stage one. Is it okay if I clear this screen, all the drawings on my screen? We'll get into my entries and exits, all that stuff later. Okay, I'm gonna clean all that stuff up. Okay, what territory are we in on the daily? Okay, so let me ask you this. Are we in seller's territory and then we never made a lower low, so we're still in that seller's territory? Or are we in a buyer's territory and that's the guy who started it? That was the highest point. Oh, can everyone hear me now? Is the audio okay? Oh, let me check. All right, okay. Recording is back on and screen sharing is also now on. Okay, yeah, territory. Yeah, territory. Okay, good. So we were talking about, yeah, So we said, is this seller's territory or is it buyer's territory? Okay, and that's the guy who started it, and that's the highest point he went, and we never went higher than that, neither did we go below that. So the real answer is you're in buyer's territory and also seller's territory. Both. Okay, if you're in both, what does that mean? Yeah, money spot. And what's a money spot? Who wins in a money spot? Okay, big boy. Now, if I do a buy in this, can I be wrong? If I do a sell in this, can I be wrong? Okay, let me ask you a flip question. Can I also be right for both of them? So let me show you a scenario where me as a person, when I looked at this also, just like you guys are like, is it a sell or is it a buy? What the hell is going on? I'm so confused. Same option that I had in my mind going, I'm so confused. Who is it? Let me show you how I made money from this regardless. In both directions. Ready? Okay. Yeah, we don't need to label it anything. Whether it's engulfing candle, a pennant, or a triangle, or, you know, an alien. Just no need to label it. Let's just look at it and let's try to understand it, because that's what matters. Okay, so going from this idea first, is this a buyer's territory? Let's start with that one, yeah? Let's go in now to Mr. 4 hours. If that's buyer's territory, okay, sorry, let me go down to, sorry, go back to 4 hours here. Let me take a screenshot. Okay. Circle? Yes, no? Okay, fantastic. Okay, so if this is buyer's territory, what we're looking at is a market moving down, holding, down, holding, down, holding, down, V formation. V formation followed by the market gave you a test and then it took off. Now, when the takeoff happened, did we make a higher high? No. He's back down again to the same area where the buyers took off from last time. Now, I'm at a dilemma where I need to make a judgment of, well, what the hell is going on? Okay, sellers came down again from up here. Down, pull back, down, pull back. No more down, no more down, no more down, sideways action, and then it pops up. Makes me scratch my head and be like, I guess here comes the buyers. Here comes the buyers. Now, in this whole scenario, I was looking at this as a 4 hour, 1 hour trade, thinking that, okay, well, this is buyer's territory. In this entire buyer's territory, I'm going to hit it as a buy. So let me explain the situation of my thought process in this. So I take the buy at the price of 1814. That is my buying price. Okay, 1814. Let me show you that on the chart. Where is 1814? There we are. Boom. Let me show you how that looks on the 1 hour. Now, all of you guys tell me one thing right now. Is my price too high or did I get a good price? Good, good. So I'm now in a tough situation. I made mistake number one by getting in too high. And I got in at an area where all the sellers activate. Okay, so that's tricky scenario number one that I got myself into. Yeah, chasing. Very bad, Naveen. Tusk. Okay, so it's already bad. So now let's take a look at this. So what happened in that situation? Closed for a small loss, standing by, looks like the market is trying to go lower. Okay, now notice at what price did I close it. So I bought it. Here's my sell at this price, 1801. Everyone see that? Okay, now understand one thing very carefully. I bought it there and I closed it at 1801. Here is 1801. Right there, I closed it. And I had the feeling that the market is going to go lower. That's why I closed it. Where do you think that feeling comes from? Is it because I'm in a resistance area? Is that where my feeling is coming from? Okay. Yeah, Sergio, correct. That is the right answer. Because I entered too high. Because I entered really high, every movement that the market made against me started making me doubt my foundation of, is my trade correct? Obviously, I have multiple scenarios. The scenario number 2 saying, scenario number 3 saying, what if it goes completely the opposite? Well, obviously, I bought it at the worst price. It can turn around completely the opposite. So as prices are at the blue line here, I close it thinking, oh crap, this thing is actually going to go down. And right when I close it, what happens? It jumps right back up. Okay? How many of you guys have this situation here? And then everyone, whoever has the same feeling, it's like, oh my God, God hates me. He chose me to pick on me today. And it's not really anyone's fault, you know. It's not really anyone's fault. It's just the way you entered that trade is going to keep you in a difficult situation. So not only trading that way do you get, you know, do you feel cursed because of that, but you also understand that, okay, there's something wrong with my trading. Now, that was 17 hours ago, earlier, last night basically, 17 hours ago. Now, 16 hours ago, an hour later, I say, I re-entered the trade. Oops, sorry. Where did it go? Here we are. Here we go. I re-entered the trade and I said, I'm off to bed. I will check in tomorrow. Now, you can see, obviously, how I went to bed at 5:16 a.m. I'm a wonderful nightaholic, if you want to. I'm an owl. I don't sleep. Okay? So, I went to sleep finally looking at this thing and I was like, oh my God, I closed at such a bad price. And as the prices went back up, I got in again. Oh, what is this price I got in here? Look at this average price. What's my price I got? 1815. At this point, you know when you start swearing at yourself? That's exactly what was happening to me. I was like, son of a bitch, I got the same price again. You know, even though it came down, I didn't take it from that. Like, just because I entered incorrectly the first time, my whole mindset is messed up. Okay, so now I'm at a confusing state of what the hell just happened. Okay, here's the. So I got in again at the same price, so I'll leave the line there. Okay, so this is trade number 2 now. Okay, so first trade number 1 made a loss. Got in again the second time around. Second time around I got in. I say 7 hours later, I don't like the speed. Moving stops to break even. Now, what does that have to do with anything? I got in, I was making profit from here on the way up. That's profitable, right? According to my research, this thing was supposed to get up to here or higher to my recent high. That's my scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is it will go into profit a little bit, but what if it stops and turns around? Does that make sense? So scenario number 2 is, what could stop it? Maybe a supply area here, if you guys are into supply and demand. That's one thing. But what about this thing? Oh yeah. We got the sellers getting desperate every single step of the way. They're willing to pay. Sorry, they're offering their product for much cheaper every step of the way. Okay, no labeling. It looks like a channel, but let's not label it. Just try to understand what is happening here. So I got now stuck into scenario number 2, which is what if it doesn't reach my take profit, but I am in profit? What do I do? So what's scenario number 2's rule? What do I do? What do I do? Take part, exit, close half. Okay, let's see if you guys are right. Let's see what Naveen did. This brown monkey. Let's see what he did with these horrible prices. Okay, here we go. So 7 hours later, I don't like the speed. Moving stops to break even. Okay, the next thing. 7 hours later, just so minutes later, yeah, since I wasn't happy by the way it was moving, I took 50% of the profits and moved stops to break even. So now you can see I booked a little bit of profit and my stops are now at 15, as you can see. Okay, and then later on, trade closed at break even. Markets came crashing down and it broke even for me. Okay, it didn't come crashing down, it just came to this candle. Let me show you. Right, that candle. Break even. Correct? Now, along with all this, what does it mean when your trade is closed? Here's a benefit of it. When you're not in a trade, your mind becomes free again. You're able to think like a normal human being again. You don't become this greedy chaser anymore. So when you're looking at this and you're like, okay, well, it reacted very strongly from here. Well, what does that mean? Let's take a look at this on the 1 hour. He was struggling on the way up, struggling. I was trying to make a buy on it, struggling, boom. And then it came crashing down all the way to here. Could scenario number 3 now be active? Where the markets don't want to go long, it's actually turning around. It is respecting this resistance. Now, so I sold. Okay, I sold. Let's look at the price I sold it at. I say I took a short. This is 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago, I took a short. Price of my sell, where did I take the sell? What's my price? 1805. Okay, let's clean this up. Let's take a look at 1805. Where is 1805? I am now looking at the mirror and saying, son of a bitch, again I took the price right where the buyers are. I took the sell at the buyer spot. Now do you understand why my stop loss had to be larger than life? Like, I entered here, but my stop loss was up here. Okay? Does that make sense now? But the reason, let me explain the reason why. Okay, I'm trying to make this funny, but at the same time, there's a reason why I entered in early and not later. Is because in a channel, you don't... Son of a breach. Yeah, sorry, Pipsos Christ. I didn't mean to swear in the chat room here. I ask for your forgiveness. So, what I meant was, in the channel, you don't really get an option for the market to hang around. Okay? If I see this is the channel here... Look what happened last time when the markets came down like a V formation. He hung around there a little bit and then it ran away. Okay, in a channel, you don't really get a nice pullback and orderly organization, blah, 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 blah. It came down to here, hovered here for one candle, and then boom. Okay, if the price was to come higher, my plan of action is add more size, add more money to it. Okay? But you still need 3 scenarios. What happens if you're in a profit a little bit? What happens if it goes the other way? And what happens if you go completely to your take profit? Okay, where do you think my take profit was? And why? Why is my take profit there? Let's understand this on a higher time frame first. Oh, sorry. Okay. I gotta get my mouse back. Okay, here we go. Sorry. I'm gonna take a screenshot. I'm gonna show you my take profit on the same chart right here. Okay, it says buy limit at 1770. Okay, let me show you 1770. My buy limit is here. That's my take profit. Why is it there? Yeah, it's at the buyer's territory resistance. Very good, Sasha. Okay, Tycoon, it's at support. Very good. Look at that, where price is reacting from right now. So I am afraid we are not able to cross this price. Now, if I go back to the daily, let me show you guys one more thing. I'm going to go back to the daily. If this was buyer's territory, can everyone tell me what could the buyers do? Try 1. If that's a rubber band man, he's running once, nothing. Running twice, is that a higher high? No. And then he does a complete rest. And then he's testing up again. That to me says this thing has a potential of getting down much lower. But I have a webinar to do. I cannot hold it for much lower. I'm going to take profit right here. Does that make sense? Okay. If I wanted to do the hold process, then I would close 50%, take the profits, move stop loss to 0, and give this opportunity a try to see if the sell would happen. Okay, so going further down. Okay, trade going well. See you guys in the webinar. This was when the prices dropped down to 17708, and basically trade hit take profit an hour ago. That's when I started the webinar. Does that make sense? So can you see how I was flexible with this idea? I was a buyer and a seller and a person who got in at bad prices. You can still come out swinging if you have a grip on what you're doing. But if you get hijacked into thinking only one way, then you're going to be in trouble. Okay? All right, guys. So let me turn on the camera. So a couple major announcements. Obviously, this is the last webinar that we have for MPA. Okay, I apologize for those of you who are going to be sad about that. Going forward, all of our webinars are now going to be on the 4-course bundle. Okay, all the webinars are going to be now on the 4-course bundle, which means they're going to be a little bit more sophisticated. They're going to be a little bit more powerful, and we're going to go into it a lot more complication. Now, for those of you who do not have the 4-course bundle, or you guys just have the Mastering Price Action course and the 4-course bundle, we have the anniversary package. We're in the 8-year anniversary of Black Tower Investments, basically my company. At the end of this month, at Halloween, we're going to be turning off that anniversary package. So Armo is going to get you guys the link that you guys can see on my screen. What the anniversary package is everything combined into one package for a one low price. It's 1 year worth of education, and it's all given to you for $8.99. This is more than $3,000 worth. Armo, if you can open that for them. There you go. Thank you. And I will go back to my screen. And there's also payment plans in case some of you guys want to get it. But for those of you who already have purchased something, let's say if you purchased the MPA or 4-course bundle, email info@urbanforex.com. Let them know that you've purchased something. They'll deduct it from this anniversary package to make sure you're only paying the net difference. So you don't have to pay the full price if you've already bought something from us. Okay? So we'll keep it fair as possible, and we'll give you everything that, that you can use. It is our anniversary. We're happy to share this deal with all of you guys. It's a fantastic price. We've never offered a price that low. It is almost the same price as 4-course bundle. Okay, so if you buy the 4-course bundle outright, this is basically the anniversary package. You have all of my courses for a low price. So I hope you guys are excited, because the next webinar we're going to be doing is going to be the 4-course webinar, 4-course bundle webinar. Okay, I think in exactly a month's time we'll do another one for that. Okay. And yes, as you will see my screen, the recording will be released in about 48 hours. Okay. There we go. Okay, so Armo's got that message up for you guys, for those of you guys who keep asking that question, if it's going to be released. Okay. All right, so, and those of you guys who are in the elite community, obviously look for more incredible stuff coming your way. One more announcement, major announcement. Our app on iOS is almost ready. Okay, this one is going to be on correlation. You no longer have to do correlation on yourself. There's going to be an app where we're going to give you the correlation, and we'll do all the research for you guys. It's going to be available on iOS first. And the app will be beautifully designed. Everything's really wonderfully made. We've paid a lot of money to get all this stuff done. The app will show you exactly what numbers are in the correlation, and on top of that, we're going to teach you how to use it to your advantage. Okay? In the next webinar, I'll show you a preview. Maybe this Tuesday when we do the next webinar, the public webinar, we'll show you a preview in that webinar. Okay, so look out for that. That will be coming out soon, probably in the next month or less, hopefully less. Okay, we're just at the final stages. Okay, yeah, so this MPA webinar, all of these MPA webinars that we have done, how many of you guys want to see some of the previous MPA webinars? Okay, some of you guys might be new. You guys might be like, oh man, I want to see some of the older recordings, right? We're going to start adding all the MPA webinars to the end of your Mastering Price Action courses. Okay, if you haven't already seen them start coming out, it will start coming out. Okay, so you'll start seeing that coming in at the end. So once you finish your 7 weeks, 8th week, 9th week, and 10th week, you'll start seeing all the MPA webinars come out one by one. So you'll get to see that as well. We'll do the same thing with the 4-course bundles. We'll add them towards the end of it, and they'll keep coming in as more and more as you go. Okay, so one final question I want to ask you guys. As always, how do you like the courses? Okay, we're not selling anything to you guys anymore. You guys are already students. I genuinely want to know, how do you guys love it? Okay? Good, good, good. The more feedback I get from you guys in our Facebook reviews or in our comment section, the more we get motivated to make better and nicer courses for you guys. In fact, we're going to be, in early 2015, we're going to be working on MPA version 2. It's going to be more clear. It's going to have a lot more examples in it. Of course, it's going to be like 80% discount for all of you guys who already have an MPA, so don't worry about that. Sorry, not 2015, 2018. Yeah, I think just trading at those wrong prices made my brain a little bit cuckoo. Okay, so that's going to be there. For those of you who are asking about the elite community, if you pick up the 4-course bundle or the anniversary package, you'll have 1 month access to the elite community for free. Okay, the elite community is expensive, and we want to keep it that way. We want to keep it expensive. We want to keep it out of reach of the average individual. We only want serious traders in there, and you can only get in there after you have some of the education that we teach you, that you learn already from the Mastering Price section in the 4-course bundle. Okay, so it's called elite community for a reason. We want to make sure that is a place where you come in and you're like, okay, let's make money. You know. Sergino, the app won't be expensive. I think the app is producing at $5 a month or something like that. It's a small subscription. It's very, very cheap. We barely get anything. Apple is taking us a big percentage of that, obviously. So it will give us enough revenue to keep that going, keep a staff ready to make all the numbers ready for you guys all the time. So it will be coming onto Android as well. Don't worry, it will be coming onto Android. We're not prejudiced. If we can, we'll even release it for BlackBerry. So we'll just give it some time. We're releasing in iOS first because the programmers that we have access to are saying we can get you to iOS ones quickly because the design we made was ready for iOS first. Okay. All right. So any questions? Any questions? Let's look at some questions. Anything important you guys want to discuss? If you guys want an email address to get in touch with us, that's info@urbanforex.com. If you want to talk to me, that's Naveen@urbanforex.com. And that is the way to reach us. Info@urbanforex is the fastest way to get an answer. If you want to talk to me, please expect a slower reply, but I do reply to everybody. Okay. V formations and stuff. Okay, V formations is an advanced topic as well because as you can see, V formations is discussed in MPA and the 4-course bundle. So probably for the next webinar, we can go into V formations into detail. Because the whole thing is, what is V formations actually mean? Why are they there? What's a V formation? What's it doing there? We'll discuss that into detail. Okay. Any other course after 4-course bundle? As of yet, I don't see anything that you guys need apart from mental training. That's why I've created the motivation courses and what type of trader you're at. That is a very important course as well, to find out who you are before getting into all the stuff that's been thrown at you without knowing, well, what are you going to be good at from all these things? You need to know what type of trader you are. Okay? All right, guys. So that is all the times we have. I just here, if you guys want to say bye to Lee and Lucille as well.
Bye.
Okay. So again, if you guys are here in person, I would love to have you guys in live with me here doing these webinars as well. So you guys can just sit over my shoulder and watch me talk. Okay? Yeah, I'm losing my words today. It's like all right, guys, that's it from me today. Yeah, I've been drinking water today. I think I need to go back to alcohol. I cannot talk straight with water. All right. So thank you so much for coming, all of you guys. Thank you for taking time out to be here. I look forward to seeing more of your comments. If you guys can leave us a review on Facebook, on our Urban Forex page, that would be wonderful. I can get you guys the link, Armo or Lucille, if you guys can share the link in the chat room or in the web links. If you guys can please leave us a review, or we can send you an email. We'll send you an email if you guys can leave us a review. I look forward to reading your reviews. Every review counts for us. Okay? All right. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Cheers. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.